Intelligence, IQ. Some people have it, some people do not. But what do these two groups of people have in common? They both want to get out of low elo in League of Legends.
Alright, so I know what you guys are thinking right off the bat.
But Mr. Addictive Gaming, my teammates make me lose every game. I get kills, but my team makes me lose.
Timeout! Timeout!
This is an extremely close-minded way of thinking, and actually pretty selfish. I don't think I've ever played a game of League of Legends, no matter what role I was playing, where I felt like I had absolutely no influence over the game, whether I was playing support, mid, top, AD carry, or my main role jungle. I know you guys have probably watched plenty of tutorials and have probably heard this before, but I definitely feel like it's something that needs to be talked about, and that's your attitude. Just going to go ahead and state that none of this is a surefire way to get out of whatever elo you are stuck in. Champions are tools, and it is up to you what you do with those tools, and you need to make the magic happen. So category number 1, what we're going to start with is pathing tips. When it comes to pathing, if you are in low elo and you're just starting off jungling, or maybe you're trying to practice, get the hang of it, definitely always start at your bottom buff and get that leash from your bot side. The 2-man leash is always going to help a lot more. It's going to leave you healthier, it's going to shed some time off your clear, and you're probably going to get to that scuttle a little bit faster that way and get that full clear down. Another good tip I have for low elo junglers trying to climb is to kill your Krugs as early and often as possible. Basically, to simplify why you want to do this is because your Krugs do give you quite a bit of experience, and every time you kill your Krugs, when they do respawn, they grant even more experience and keep scaling as you kill them. Now, Krugs do give quite a bit of experience. If you don't believe me, go try it out for yourself. Get your Scuttles, get your Krugs. And while you're at it, get your enemies Krugs too. Trust me, it's a lot of experience in battle for them. Alright guys, so my third basic jungle pathing tip for you low elo junglers trying to climb would be to plan your pathing around the lanes you want to influence, gank, and pay the most attention to. Before every game starts, you absolutely want to be analyzing the enemy team, and even your own team as well. Reason for this is because by the time the game starts, you should already have a plan in your head of kind of what you want to accomplish in the first 5 to 10 minutes. For example, if you notice that your mid laner is a Zed, and the enemy mid laner is, let's say, a Yasuo or a Diana, then you know that either one of those laners can have a huge impact on the game, and that's a lane you probably want to influence. That being said, I'm probably going to plan my pathing a little bit around the mid lane, because I feel like that's definitely a lane that I can help carry the game. Another good example of this is if you notice that your top laner is probably going to get shoved into tower, and the enemy top laner is going to be pushing a lot, you're probably going to want to plan your pathing around your top side, and maybe get your level 3 at your top side so you can easily rotate to top for a counter gank, or a gank yourself. So keep in mind when doing all this that you don't want to be over ganking, you do want to keep a solid farm, and a big part of jungling is getting to your level 6, because 99% of junglers probably hit their power spikes when they hit that level 6, and it's huge for ganking, influencing the map, and collapsing on people that are caught out of position. You can also take this advice when doing objectives, so say you're playing a very objective based champion like Shyvana and you want those dragons, plan your pathing around your dragon and your bot side. So although there are more jungle pathing tips I would like to cover, there are other things I would like to talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and move on, because I think the things I did cover in this video should definitely be beneficial to you, and I really hope you learned something new. So let's go ahead and recap, shall we? Number 1, for the sake of shaving more time off your clear and having a healthier clear, start your bottom side buff with the leash of your AD carry and support. Number 2, abuse Krugs and Scuttle as early and often as possible to get that extra gold and experience to get to your power spikes faster. And my last jungle pathing tip for you guys today is to plan your pathing around the lanes you want to be focusing the most attention to and ganking. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and move on to number 2, and that is when should I gank, and what made it a good gank? Well, to start off, I want to reiterate something. Over ganking is never a good thing. You always want to make sure that you're keeping up with your farm and that you're never under farmed. And this leads into my first tip. If you don't know when you should stop farming and you should start ganking or influencing the map more, Just take a look at like your top lane or your mid lane solo laner. Look at their level, and if you're the same level as them, you should definitely be looking to influence the map and start ganking more than farming. Alright guys, so my second tip of when you should gank is if you know the enemy jungler is on the opposite side of the map and he cannot counter gank you. For instance, if you see the enemy jungler doing his bot side buff because of that saucy ward that you placed, and you notice the enemy top laner is shoving into your own tower, you should definitely be looking to gank that top side. A great surefire way to tell if you should gank a lane is if you know they don't have their flash up, they just teleported in, or if they have absolutely no vision and you know this for a fact and you can sneak up on them. I can't tell you how many times I killed a top laner, backed off, got a scuttle, the top laner teleported back in, I knew they had no vision and I swung around and killed them a second time within a minute. This is the most tilting thing you can do to somebody, and if they haven't given up yet, they probably will at that point. So now that we covered a few basic tips on when you should be ganking, I want to talk about what made it a good gank. Just because you didn't get a kill does not mean it was not a good gank. Number 1, and probably the most obvious one, is that you burn their summoner spells. I'm going to list some possible outcomes that will make your gank definitely worth it, and definitely a good gank. When you burn an enemy laner's flash, you definitely force them to have to play more passive and less aggressive, which in turn can help your laner either get back into the game, help them farm better, and just stop getting pushed into their tower. Number 2 would be to zone or push the enemy laner out of lane so that you and your laner can secure tower. One little trick or one little thing that I ask myself after doing a gank, and that you should do as well, is you should ask yourself, did I get more out of that than the enemy did? Did I get a 2-for-1? Yeah, I might have died, but did my Darius get 2 or 3 kills out of that? Do we also get a dragon and a tower out of that? If you did, then it was definitely worth it. So there are other tips and tricks that I would like to teach you guys in terms of when to gank and stuff like that, but in the sense of not having this video be 25 minutes long, I'm going to go ahead and recap this and then move on. Thanks guys. So to recap, we have 1. Check on your solo laners top and mid. Are you the same level as them? If you are, you should definitely be looking to gank more than farm. My second tip for you guys of when you should know when to gank is if you know the enemy jungler is on the opposite side of the map and he cannot counter gank you. Big one. And then my third and final tip for when you should be ganking, and probably the most obvious one, is if you know the enemy laner does not have their flash or summoner spells. Easiest one and easiest way to get kills. So guys, before I proceed to the third topic of this video, which is mid to late game tips, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate it so much. You truly do not know how much it means to me. It means the world to me. I am putting a lot of time and effort into this video to bring you guys the best possible content I can. If you learned one thing from this video, then everything was worth it. All the time and effort was all worth it. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Okay, so when it comes to the mid to late game, there's really a lot that goes into it that I can't really cover everything, but I'm going to try my best to at least cover some really important things that I think every jungler in bronze, iron, silver, gold, whatever, low elo should definitely be aware of and know. Alright guys, let's just jump into it. My first mid to late game tip would be to destroy the 3 outer towers. Now the reason why you want to destroy the 3 outer towers is because not only does it extend the length of the lane by almost 2, but it gives your teammate much more time to pressure the map while the enemy has to push the wave back. So when you force the enemy to have to stay in their lane and push the wave back, not only does that disable them from roaming around the map and influencing the map and helping their team, but it gives your teammate and your laner a chance to roam and influence the map much more and take objectives and maybe kill mid laners, get the other towers. It's really like a snowball effect. You get top, then you get a bot. I mean mid, excuse me, and then you go to bot. And at that point, you move into my second tip. And boys and gals, my second tip is going to be to start farming the enemy jungle and get vision control over objectives like Herald, Baron, and Dragon. So if your team does manage to get all 3 of the outer towers, basically farming your own camps in your jungle is going to be too far away from where the action is going to be taking place, because while your team is pushing, you're going to want to be there in the vicinity to influence those fights. So I definitely recommend farming the enemy's camps while this is happening, and that way if a fight breaks out, you can get there quickly, especially if you're playing Kayn, because Kayn is amazing. You just go through walls and Play Kane. I love Kane. He's amazing. So I just realized that I probably should have put this tip first. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw it in there now, and that would be to kill the top laner and secure Herald as soon as you possibly can, and then use that Herald to get plates. It's just a huge power spike for your team. It allows you to get your items faster. It's so much gold. Like, if you can pop a Herald and get a full tower, like, while the top laner's dead, and use that priority to scare off the enemy jungler, and you guys can secure that tower, it's just so much gold. It's a huge advantage for your team.
Alright guys, so that's all I have to share with you today. Let's go ahead and do a quick little recap. So just like every other female that's ever been in my life, you can forget about me and start moving on. Again, basic recap. Number 1, we got destroy the enemy's outer towers for a couple of reasons as stated, but the main one in my opinion being allowing your laner to start roaming and influencing the map more. For our number 2 spot, we had farming the enemy's camps instead of your own camps, so that way you're always by your team in case a fight breaks out, somebody's fighting for an objective, and you're not farming your Krugs while your team is sieging the enemy nexus, and then your team flames you, and it's just all downhill from there. Alright guys, on my last tip here for you guys to top everything off was to secure that early game Herald with the help of your top laner or mid laner even, and use it to get early plates, a lot of gold, and a big advantage for your team. Alright guys, and there you have it. That was my first YouTube video in the books. Round of applause please. If you guys learned something new today, even if it was one thing, then this was all worth it. If you liked the video, please feel free to smack me upside the head with that like button. If you didn't like the video, feel free to dislike it. I promise I won't get mad. If you enjoyed the music that I had in the background, those are my own personal beats that I made myself. I will go ahead and link my SoundCloud in the description if you want to go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, please feel free to share this video with your friends. If you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing. Leave some comments too, man. I want to know what you guys think. What did you like about this video? What did you not like? What did you learn? Did you learn anything? Let me know in the comments. I read and listen to all of your comments, especially the ones that are constructive criticism, because I use that towards my growth and to help me make my future videos. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. This has been your host of FMC Gaming, Jim Pickens. And don't forget to check out my main channel, 5 Minute Creeps, which is what the FMC stands for, where you'll find all the scariest, disturbing, and most bone-chilling stories delivered here, all in the very convenient time frame of 5 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next video.